bobbing around. And they're off and racing. Inspire Force misses it and is racing at the back of the field as a Bootylicious goes for that lead. Another one is right there too. Zulu Warrior rushing down into it. Prince Aman is out wide. Then comes a Fearless Force. Just behind them, Huntsman and Teflon Don. Behind those, that's Money Monster and Perfect Brew. And way out of it, Best Forgotten, that's Inspire Force. They head toward the 3, and it's Bootylicious in front. Here comes on the outside, that's Fearless Force. Bootylicious being attacked by Fearless Force. Prince Saman is also on the premises along with Zulu Warrior. They'll come into the lane that way. It's Bootylicious in front. Fearless Force trying to fight on. It's Bootylicious kicking once again from Fearless Force. Prince Saman out wide too. And coming on, that is Perfect Brew, but it's still on that lead and holding on. It's Bootylicious in front, but Fearless Force bearing down, also coming on. Another one, it's still Bootylicious, Fearless Force. Bootylicious hanging, Fearless Force coming up. Bootylicious, Fearless Force gets the better of Bootylicious. Then comes another one running on for 4th. That's Perfect Brew. Back in 5th, Zulu Warrior.
Michael Sims is ready, they're off. Champion Bubbler came off a beat slow with Money Market and Mojito. California Crown came out running. Unbelievable Force, 3 parts of a length on the rail. Mahogany is also making progress. There goes Pack Plays now with a burst of energy as they charge past the half mile. And the Pack Plays has scooted through to get that lead from California Crown. Mahogany right there. So too Money Market. Unbelievable Force races behind them. 5.5 lengths off that lead as they leave the 3. Mojito has to make some ground. A gap of some 6 lengths to Chocomo. Champion Bubbler just toward the outside. Fearless Soul runs the rail and is last. They're coming into the top of the lane. Pack Plays continues to chart the course. The stick now coming out in the left hand. Money Market trying to run Pack Plays down. Mahogany is also asked to close up. Mojito is racing down against the rail, but it is Pack Plays who has the lead. Pack Plays out in front. Mojito coming with a charge against the fence, but Pack Plays continues to hold a good-looking lead. Mojito trying to close the gap, but can't. Pack Plays will win it on the Richie Shakes. Mojito is 2nd. Mahogany 3rd. Close between Fearless Soul and California Crown.
And we're ready for race number 9. Often Racing, that's a good line. As Mamma Mia, she has speed and not too shy to show it. Mamma Mia goes on from Supernatural Power racing down into 2nd. Mahogany is in 3rd. Then come a heap of them. Just on the inside, that's Fearless Soul. Just on the inside of Fearless Soul, going down that on the outside of Fearless Soul. That is that a fact right there too. Rhythm Buzz. Then comes Gurvano and racing at the back of the field. That's Tistock. They make their way to the half mile, and it's Mamma Mia in front. Better than 2 lengths from racing in 2nd, Supernatural Power. Mahogany racing in 3rd. About 4 or 5 lengths before we come to Is That a Fact ridden hard. Tistock begins to make eye-catching progress. Just behind them, that's Rhythm Buzz. Then comes Gurvano and still racing at the back of the field. That's Fearless Soul there at the top of the lane. Supernatural Power now assumes the lead from Mamma Mia, still there fighting on. Watch on the inside. That's Mahogany coming out wide. Tistock. Supernatural Power is in front and traveling well. Supernatural Power looks to be skipping away from them. Coming to the off a furlong pole. It's Supernatural Power in the Thunderbird Trophy. Tistock is trying to come on, but just treading water. Supernatural Power bounding effortlessly for an easy win. It's 2 on the day for the Sneaky Fox Radish Roman. Supernatural Power beats Tistock. Then comes Gurvano back in 4th. That's Rhythm Buzz.
Michael Sims is ready, they're off. Run Julie Run gets a great start. Desert of Malibu in pursuit already and joining as they go flashing past the 7. Divine Force races down on the rail. Unspun is racing out wide of horses as they sort themselves out. And Desert of Malibu has now been sent to that lead by Radish Roman as they flash past the 6. Run Julie Run tracking 3 parts of a length down. A break of 2 or more to Divine Force. On Spun racing on the outside, Mojito tucked neatly in between horses, filling the sandwich as they leave the 5. 3.5 lengths back to Sheer Delight. Fearless Soul asked to improve against the fence. Interesting Times Ahead is at the back and last. Just about a half a mile to run as they go rushing into that turn, and Desert of Malibu and Run Julie Run continue to match strides as they charge away, leaving the 7/16th, and now Radish sends Desert of Malibu on by some 2 lengths. Run Julie Run being ridden now and asked to go in chase. Watch Mojito making progress. A break opens up to Unspun. Divine Force and Sheer Delight team up in behind. Fearless Soul is next, and Interesting Times Ahead, Never In It, continues to run at the back, but at the top of the lane in the Clovis Metcalf, and Desert of Malibu now opens the lead over Run Julie Run the Grey. Mojito is down against the fence. Unspun coming through horses. Sheer Delight on the outside. Divine Force running on the spot. But it's Desert of Malibu leaving the furlong pole with a clear lead. Can they catch this Desert of Malibu? Radish, the sneaky Fox Roman. He's looking for 5. Desert of Malibu is going to provide it. And Desert of Malibu, he's down, wins the Clovis Metcalf. 5 for Radish. Run Julie Run second. Divine Force is third. Unspun fourth. Sheer Delight is back in 5th. And they're off for the She's a Man-Eater Trophy. Is that a fact? Mamma Mia, they step out last. Fun Can't Done got a good start with Tistock on the outside. California Crown is showing good dash. And California Crown leaves the 7 with a 1.5 length advantage. It's held over a Desert of Malibu as they run toward the 6. Mamma Mia has made ground and now moves down into 3rd. Fun Can't Done racing in between horses. Tistock toward the outside, and Is That a Fact? Hopeless at the back, a long way last. They're racing up toward the final 5/8. And California Crown strides out with a 5 or 6 length lead. It's held over Desert of Malibu going in chase. 2 lengths back to Mamma Mia. Fun Can't Done in between horses. Tistock racing out 3 wide. And Is That a Fact? Yet to recover. A half a mile to run. Into the turn they go. Can they catch this California Crown? Fleet-footed and leading by 4 lengths. Desert of Malibu now sent in chase. Fun Can't Done wound up by Robert Halladine. On the outside, that's a Tistock in the red and many colours. Mamma Mia has faded back badly. Is That a Fact? Forget that one. As they come charging past the 5/16th, about to come into the top of the lane. And Desert of Malibu has now snatched that lead. The rider having a peep behind as they leave the quarter pole. And it is Desert of Malibu under a vigorous ride from Radish, the sneaky Fox Roman. He's opening up some 4 lengths. Here's Fun Can't Done. The Mute Mile Mina now let loose on the outside, but it's Desert of Malibu, the mare, who continues to respond to the left-hand stick. Fun Can't Done trying to cut into that lead. Desert of Malibu out in front. Here is Fun Can't Done now beginning to close. Desert of Malibu driven to the boards. Fun Can't Done diving. It's close. Close between Fun Can't Done, Desert of Malibu. Then Is That a Fact? And Tistock back in 4th. And they're off. Rainsville gets a good start going for that lead. Provident hustles on the inside to challenge early as they make their way toward the clubhouse turn. Blue Vinyl on the outside picks up a narrow lead. James pressing right there in between horses. Provident on the rail. Atlantic Convoy out wide. Rainsville tracks these and at the back of the field. It is Super Alex as they go into that clubhouse turn and make their way toward the back stretch. Atlantic Convoy a narrow leader. Blue Vinyl throttle back on the inside. A head separates them. Reigns with the Grey and James race up next. Then Provident and Super Alex continues to trail. Over on the back stretch they go. They make their way flashing past the 6. Blue Vinyl on the rail. Atlantic Convoy. Rainsville now forms the line of 3 on this Ménage à Trois. Heads toward the 5. A gap opens up to James. Super Alex and Provident shoulder to shoulder as they charge away now, leaving the 5 and run toward the final half of a mile. Blue Vinyl on the rail continues to fight for that lead. Rainsville now pressing home on the outside. These 2 heads apart with Rainsville now going on at the half mile. Blue Vinyl backing out into 2nd. Here's Provident now asked to kick. Super Alex making ground, overtaking Atlantic Convoy. And James has never been in it and left at the back as they go coming past the 3 and head toward the 5/16. Blue Vinyl once again takes that lead as they alternate on it. Rainsville left back a bit in 2nd. Super Alex asked to close up. Provident has a lot to do along with James and Atlantic Convoy, but the favourite favorite Blue Vinyl turns for home at the top of the lane, and Radish Roman asks him to really go inside the final 3/16. It is Blue Vinyl now taking complete control as they flash past the final furlong. Rainsville left back wobbling in second. Super Alex is running in third. The rest are all of it, but it's all Blue Vinyl in the Royal Dada. 16th to catch him. Can they catch him? Never. They will never be able to catch him, and Blue Vinyl romps the Royal Dad by double digits. Super Alex coming on late gets second over Rainsville third. Provident is fourth.
They're often racing. Unruly Don gets a fly on the inside, so it's Unruly Don. Prince Aman is rushing up on the inside, on the outside. Right there too, that's Amma. McEnroe coming around horses too. So it's McEnroe vying for that lead, and now McEnroe goes on to lead. It's McEnroe in front of Unruly Don racing in second. Then comes Prince Aman. Amma comes next. Then comes Zulu Warrior. And Sheer Delight overtaking Rosetta. And they head toward the 6 furlong point, and McEnroe bouncing easily on a 4-length lead, about 4 lengths in front of Unruly Don racing in second. Prince Aman is racing in third. Amma comes next, then comes Sheer Delight. Just behind Sheer Delight, that's Zulu Warrior, 5 lengths away before we come to Rosetta, Captain Sparrow, and marginally racing at the back, that's Brenda Boy. They head toward the 4, and Macam is still in front, about 2.5, maybe 3 lengths in front of Unruly Don, tracking intently in second. Watch Sheer Delight rushing down on the outside to go third. Amma is racing in fourth. Zulu Warrior getting closer, also getting closer and looking dangerous. That's Captain Sparrow. Brenda Boy is also coming on. Prince Aman left out of it and racing at the back of the field. That's Rosetta there at the top of the lane, and the Sheer Delight now has hits the front. It's Sheer Delight still in front of, still there and trying hard. That is Unruly Don. It's Sheer Delight in front of Unruly Don. Captain Sparrow is down there in third. It's Sheer Delight keeping on strongly with that lead. It's Sheer Delight in front. Captain Sparrow going down into second. Sheer Delight still in front. Captain Sparrow trying to get to Sheer Delight, but Sheer Delight is shaking loose of Captain Sparrow, getting closer. Sheer Delight keeping on from Captain Sparrow. That's the way they'll finish. Sheer Delight beats Captain Sparrow. Then comes Unruly Don. Brenda Boy, and back in fifth, that's Zulu Warrior.
They're off for the Eros. Commandant almost went down and gives the rest a huge advantage as they make their way toward the 6. A Digital One shows speed toward the outside. Interesting times ahead. Is that a fact? Right there in the melee as they go flashing past the 6. Unspun races out wide. Tistock tucked in between horses. Wall Street Trader now moving down against the rail, and Commandant trying to recover after an awful beginning as they've left the 5 and make their way now toward the final half of a mile in the Eros. A Digital One just on that lead. Is that a fact? Testing on the rail. Wall Street Trader as they leave the half mile now on the go. Unspun needs to find 4 or 5 lengths to get to that leader. Tistock 6 lengths. And at the back of the field, it's interesting times ahead as they've slipped past the 3 and make their way toward the 5/16th. A Digital One continues to hold the advantage. Tested now by Wall Street Trader. Is that a fact? Has faded back against the rail. Unspun is in between horses. A Tistock out wide, and interesting times ahead, labouring at the back. But Wall Street Trader and a Digital One, these going at it. Here is Unspun now, wound up for a challenge. Tistock is also switched on the outside, but it's still wide open. Wall Street Trader just the leader. Digital One over on the rail. Here is Tistock now closing with a flourish on the outside. Wall Street Trader now beginning to give way. Digital One on the far side. Tistock nearest to us. It's close. Could be Tistock over Digital One. Then Wall Street Trader. Unspun is fourth.
Racing in the non-such sprint trophy. A mad scramble to the lead. Legacy Isle and Pack Play hooked up on that lead. Pack Play against the rail. Legacy Isle just on the outside. They're about 4 or 3 lengths in front of Digital One racing in third. Then comes Is That a Fact? They head toward the 4. Pack plays just on the inside with that lead. Legacy Isle on the outside. These two glued together. Legacy Isle now pressed the gear, and Legacy Isle goes on. Just about a half a length from Pack Play. They're about 6 or 7 before we come to Digital One. And you hopelessly out of it at the moment. That is that a fact as a Legacy Isle in cruise control mode at the top of the lane. Legacy Isle not asked to do much yet. Pack plays under a drive. Legacy Isle now asked to do something, and it's Legacy Isle in front. Pack plays left back into second. Watch coming on the rail. That is that a fact? But it's Legacy Isle coming to the furlong pole. Still has a clear lead. Coming on the inside, is that a fact? Legacy Isle in the none such sprint trophy. Legacy Isle is pouring it on. Legacy Isle eased in the end by the sneaky fox. 200 day for him. Is that a fact? Is second. Pack plays back in third, and Digital One completing the fray. They're off on racing. Came out in a beautiful line. Rushing down on the outside, that's Money Market, and Money Market aggressively ridden for that lead. Right there in a second, that's Unbelievable Force. Back in a third, that's California Crown. Then comes a Ride All Day, and racing at the back of the field, that's Fearless Force. This field sprint towards the 3, and it is on that lead, Money Market, just on the outside of Money Market. That's Unbelievable Force. They're tracked intently by California Crown. Ride All Day back and forth. Also coming on the outside, that's Fearless Force. They're at the top of the lane. It is Money Market. Fleet of Foot, Money Market in front, but not by far. Just on the outside of Money Market, that's Unbelievable Force. Here comes Ride All Day. Really coming down the racetrack encouragingly, and now Ride All Day attacks Money Market. Money Market is still there fighting on, but Ride All Day is riding away. Ride All Day and Ian Dolly Baby spent the win machine. Ride All Day on his way to the bank. Ride All Day beats Money Market. Then comes Fearless Force, got tied for fourth, either California Crown or Unbelievable Force.